Hi, this is Reasons Are Several, episode 218. We are a weekly podcast where it's okay to share your feelings. My name is Matt. With me is Neil. How you doing, Neil?
Are we I wasn't ready. Are we recording now?
Are you seriously not recording?
No, I'm recording.
God damn it.
Just after asking me 6 times, I thought, what? Are we really going to do this? I am doing okay, Matador. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I don't want to make this situation all about me, but for the sake of the show, I will. I feel responsible for your recent plight.
100%.
Because, you had some trouble this past weekend, and I wanted to take responsibility for it because obviously it started with me telling you I don't want to do the live stream on YouTube anymore.
Right. So just to clear some things up, I've been having troubles for a while. I just discovered how much of a mountainous weight it was on my shoulders this past weekend, and all stemming from the fact that I found this thing that I really enjoyed doing and wanted to include one of my good friends in it. And I thought it was something that I could share with you, part of my world. I mean, I think it was almost instant that not only did you decide not to do it or that you weren't going to do it, but also picking some very hurtful words and describing how you felt about me making you do it for 5 or 10 minutes.
Were they hurtful words? I don't remember these words that I used.
Well, a lot of racist stuff just kind of thrown out there. And I was like, I don't know what to say about this.
Well, I felt bad that I then in turn made it worse by not being your plus one at your sister's wedding, which I think could have helped because I would have been there to share the lovely dungeon bedroom with you, and that shower you described sounded like we could have had a lot of fun there. So I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to make that, but I had to prioritize my lady friend. Perhaps I should have stood her up. Maybe I should have known. Or brought her, yeah. You can have a plus two.
I can do whatever I want. I was a bridesmaid.
That's true.
However, it could have went one of two ways. It would have been like, it would have been fun, or you would have been listening to me freaking bare my soul for 48 hours and just, and you know how when people, well, I don't know your experience with this, but I know for me and people that I've been with that have gone through something like that, not much new stuff gets said. It's like the same thing over and over. And sometimes you just have to get it out. I know that's how I am. So you would have been later like, I got it. You're fucked up right now, man. Why don't you just shut up for about 10 minutes?
Have another drink. No, it's sometimes you just need to let people talk. They're not looking for you to come up with a solution or a reasoning behind it. You just need to let them vent. So I would have been happy to do that. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you.
I don't like doing that. I like it if I can talk more and it can be more about me. Like when people are like, "Oh, I'm sad, I'm sad," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not." So can we talk about me right now?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
No, but I appreciate that. Thank you for saying so. I thought about you quite a bit actually, because in evaluating what was going on in my head and in my life, obviously you're a big part of my life right now. I mean, it's not like we grew up together, but the fact that we talk every week and we have the podcast and all the things that we have done and have been discussing, and being somewhat near you in so many ways, you were definitely
not
on my
near
mind.
Enough.
You were not on my mind while the little girl was laughing at me while I was crying.
Poor guy. I like the visual of you driving down the road and trucks driving by and you're like can barely look at the road because you're bawling.
Tears, and truck drivers are like, I don't know, man.
Is that guy practicing for a part in a movie or something? What is he doing?
Well, it's, how like people, if you don't hear them, like laughter can look like crying. In silence. So they could have been thinking that I was just totally cracking up. There's no way this guy is crying for that long. And it might have been why the dad driving the car like slowed down. It's like, oh my God, that guy's totally busting up. But no, I think the dad knew. He was like,
this guy needs help.
Bad day. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you on your show on Dark Angels Pretty Freaks, you were talking about how you feel like you've spread yourself thin. You got way too much going on. So I just was going to give you the opportunity. Did you want to tell me something?
To quit the podcast? No.
Did you need to end the podcast?
I didn't mean it in that. No, I don't at all. In fact, this is one of the things that I very much look forward to. What I meant is I spread myself thin, like in all of the things that I do. So it'd be like if all of a sudden, well, even partially like the YouTube thing. It's like we're doing the podcast, and then I also throw on top of that doing the YouTube. So now there's more promotion and making these little things and blah, 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 blah. I meant more in that sense. It's like do less and do it better. Like do this podcast with you and do it better. Not meaning that we couldn't do the YouTube thing, but realizing that if we were to move that route again, or when we do for the specials, that during that time I have to realize like, okay, this is not a good week to decide to paint the house. You know, like so that's what it. But no, this has been since that time. I guess it's been about almost a year now, right? Because it was right around Christmas last year that I thought it was a lot. When did I say it? I'm not sure I could do the podcast when we went down to like 30 minutes.
That was back in the fall. That was back like last August or September or something like that, because we had to do all our bonus release episodes back then. Okay. So it was back around that time.
All right. Yeah. So about a year ago then.
Yeah. Twice this podcast has been on the verge of shutting down, like within a week, and then it got saved last minute. And I can tell you exactly what it was because I was in Italy and you and I were texting because I texted you a picture of what's his face, Perseus holding Medusa's head, and I said, "This is what I want to do to you because of the podcast." I sent you a real threatening picture,
right?
And then you said we could record on a different schedule. I was like, "Well, then why do you say that?"
That's right. Yes, and then after that, I felt totally good and totally comfortable about it since. There was also a lot of weird stuff going on with work, and that's all kind of settled out, and I've been able to handle that. So
from my angle, I just see it as it's something that has to be related to me because this is only about me and my world.
Well, now after this YouTube thing, I've got to reevaluate.
I took that off your plate. You should feel better.
That's right.
I just want you to know that your mental health is more important to me than us talking about dildos. So if at any time you feel like this podcast is just a little too much, we can have a conversation.
I will let you know. I will let you know there's not enough dildo talk.
It's going to be some fun stuff today. Before we go too far, I want to mention last week's guest host, Kristen from How Was Your Week, Honey? She did a great job. It was a really fun episode. You have not listened to it yet?
I wanted to apologize. I have not, but it's really cool because now I feel like after the Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks last episode and how we started this episode with my mental health, I can kind of get away with a bunch of shit now for like a week and a half. I can oh, I'm really sorry. What are you going to do? Yell at me? I meant to today. I really want to, obviously, because I'm a fan of their show and I'm a fan of you. But it was just, it's one of those things that every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I got to listen to the show. Because I'm not used to listening to our show. So it doesn't pop in my head. And I'm so egomaniacal that I'm like, no one is ever on the show but me. So I don't need to listen to it. So no, I want to because I'm a big fan of How Was Your Week, Honey? And I think Kristen is awesome. So I'm looking forward to listen to it.
I think it was, there was that element for both. Like Kristen, I think, was feeling like this is weird being on a show that I'm so used to listening to, and then also you being, of the mind like I'm listening to a show I'm normally on, so this is kind of strange.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I kind of felt like probably how Drew Bledsoe felt when Tom Brady was playing. I guess I should pack up and go to the Cowboys. I'm joking.
No, but thank you so much to Kristen. She did a great job. It was a lot of fun talking to her. I have to have her on again sometime soon. Couple sports desk items I just want to blast through really quickly. One was that this past weekend was kind of free agency weekend for both the NBA and the NHL. And there was a lot of crazy shit. I'm sure you saw some of it. LeBron going to the Lakers. Like Lance Stevenson went to the Lakers too. And I was like, which is weird because they had a whole rivalry thing before.
Who's Lance Stevelberg?
He played for Indiana. And he played for it. There's a very famous clip that you will see of the two of them standing by each other in a game, and Stevenson's blowing into LeBron's ear.
Okay, I knew the name.
Him.
Right.
Now they're teammates.
Right. Yeah. Well, now they can kiss.
Exactly.
Now it won't be weird.
You're right. There were some weird things too. I mean, like Paul George re-signed with Oklahoma City, which nobody thought was coming, but the crazy shit started happening because, like, do you know who Boogie Cousins is? Is DeMarcus Cousins? So he was in New Orleans last year, and I think he fucked his Achilles. It was how he ended his season. He just signed with the Warriors for $5 million. That is a fucking joke. I mean, they were already basically unbeatable. They re-upped Durant for like 2 years, $60 million, and now they add like an all-conference player.
I was kind of hoping they'd sign LeBron too.
Well, I wouldn't have been surprised, but he needs too much money. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Yeah. And going to the Lakers, well, see, and the thing that LeBron's got this thing with Kobe. So going to the Lakers is kind of weird too, because
I think so.
I don't know if he just wants to bury Kobe or what, but he's not a big Kobe fan.
Well, it's not like he's going to surpass what Kobe did in LA. There's no way.
No, but if he brings, I mean, he can make it because he's the newest thing. And if he steps over there and all of a sudden they're great again,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I like Kobe as a basketball player. Not a big fan of personally, you know, of some of his decisions.
That's right. I think it'll be interesting to see that. I hate the Lakers, so it's just like great. Now I have to, you know, and I've always been like cool with LeBron, but now I'm like, oh, no.
Did I ever tell you that was the basketball team I used to root for?
Is that because you were born there?
Yes, because my grandfather was a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
He was a. I don't think he liked the Dodgers, but he was definitely a Lakers fan. And I just remember as a kid, him liking the Lakers, which was really funny because he lived most of his life in Argentina and only came to visit, but he was a Lakers fan.
Well, being a Blazers fan, you can imagine I have no love for the Lakers.
Oh,
so.
sure.
So,
When I do play basketball video games, I do play as the Lakers.
Oh.
And I'll
State,
switch the teams. No, I've never really been a Warriors fan.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
By the way, also in free agency, the NHL, which wasn't as crazy and wild because it usually isn't, but the best player on my team and the best player they've had in many, many years,
Jacques Villeneuve.
John, you almost made me say Jean Tavares.
Uh-huh.
He decided to up and leave for Toronto, his boyhood team. He's from there, and that was just a brutal weekend where I was sitting around waiting for him to make a decision.
You were waiting around.
I was waiting.
You're just waiting for his call.
I'm sitting there looking at Twitter, refreshing Twitter. I got the tweet deck thing up, and I'm like, it's just all the stuff scrolling through. I'm watching 100 troll accounts say, you know, oh, he signed here. Fuck off, block. But if you would like to hear my thoughts on the John Tavares,
play it now.
No, I was going to say go listen to the Fourth Line podcast.
That's what I was going to say. Play it 190.
Now. Well, you could right now. If you want to stop this podcast,
insert here.
No, I'm not going to insert anything here.
Insert
not
here.
right now. But they were nice enough to have me on, Carl and Joel. So go listen to the Fourth Line podcast. I think it's episode 190. There's just like a 10-minute segment that I'm on toward the beginning of the show. So go check that out, and you can listen to me rant about that.
I did want to go back to basketball for one moment, if we could. No. It's nothing about the actual free agency. For me, pro basketball is a weird sport because I've never really followed a lot of teams. I've liked players.
Yeah.
But I've never had that. Basketball, to me, is odd because it is that one sport that I really just want to watch the last 10 minutes.
Well, no, I understand that because of the way the game has, you know, a series of runs and stuff. I can see why you'd want to do it that way.
But even hockey, I have a hockey team I like.
Who?
Even the Sharks.
Oh, you do like the Sharks? Okay.
Yeah. But even though I don't really watch hockey, it's still like if I'll check the scores or check the standings, and it's like when they do well, I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Well,
but basketball, I don't, you know.
I think that's the case for more and more people, though, as you go along. People are so into fantasy sports and stuff and just individuals that they start rooting for individuals more than teams. I mean, there's still obviously huge, you know, deep fan bases for teams, but you see it's a little bit different than it used to be.
I just wish that I could have had Dennis Rodman and Xavier McDaniels on the same team.
It's just McDaniel. Let's not pluralize his name.
Is it just McDaniel?
Just
I thought there were two of them. What happened to his twin? No. I want both the Xay and Veer McDaniels.
Yeah.
Maybe McDonald's. Maybe that's really what I want.
That's what it is.
You know what? I
just
want a Big Mac.
You just want a McDonald's. Have you watched any of the World Cup? I wanted to offer you my condolences on the exit of your beloved Argentina squad.
They look terrible.
Who lost, by the way,
lost
to France, who I believe you said something along the lines of, what have they ever done in the World Cup? Well,
yeah. Well, you know what? Good for France. I mean, that's the only thing they've ever done in the World Cup is beat Argentina.
Except win the World Cup 20 years ago.
We don't have proof, Matt. Fake news, bro. We don't have proof. Do you have the statue with you?
I do not.
Why the fuck is that box still in the background?
That's my old TV. It's because I'm lazy. This is the throwaway room. This is kind of the bonus
How big
room.
is that? How big is that TV?
Oh, it's small. The box is a 60 inch. That's 60 inch. That's what we have upstairs now.
Right.
But in the box is my old 46 inch.
Oh, gotcha.
Which will be set up down here in the basement. I'm pointing again over that way. As kind of like the TV that's down here where, you know, the kids are fucking around and stuff. And so
first world problems.
Just haven't set it
My
up.
small TV is a 46 inch.
Well, come on. You've got TVs like everywhere in your house.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You have a TV like above your bed. You're one of those. It's like, you ever see those commercials where the guy's watching soccer and every like drawer he opens up, everywhere he
Has
goes,
the
there's a
TV. Yep.
That's your house.
Well, between the TVs and like the computers, you are absolutely correct.
Yes, you have a lot
Tablets,
of monitors.
computers, and phones. Yes, there's
Way too much screen time for you guys. We need to limit that.
That's probably what my issue is.
It could be. Well, let's start removing things and then add them back later and see how it goes. I was gonna say that for a while.
Gonna remove your attitude from this podcast in a second.
Well, the World Cup, it's I've been watching quite a bit of it, and it's been pretty wild. There's a lot of crazy finishes. There's been a lot of upsets. For a while, we were looking like we were on pace for a Killmonger versus
yes,
picnic
I was
tablecloth
so excited
final.
about that.
But unfortunately, Japan had a heartbreaking loss to Belgium. That was a pretty crazy game. But Croatia's still in it. The picnic tablecloths are still in it, so they're
And
still
Russia's still in it, right?
Who?
Russia?
Yes. Did you say Prussia or Russia?
No, I said Russia. Sorry, I might have been. My lips may have gotten stuck
Prussia is
together.
an area of Germany, right? Russia is in it. They upset.
I don't buy it.
Oh, you
I
don't?
think somebody's paying somebody off.
Well, a lot of people thought that. They upset Spain.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Not
On
buying
kicks.
it.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think I was going to say anything else on that. I mean, the one side of the bracket's pretty crazy because it's basically down to Russia, Croatia, Sweden, and England, which it's amazing one of those teams is going to be in the final. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to come down to Russia. They're going to win. I'm telling you.
No, Russia's not going to make it that far. They'll probably lose in the next. They'll probably lose to Croatia. Croatia's pretty tough. Anyway, you guys on your last episode of Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks talked a bit about bicycle accidents.
Bicycle. Yes, I've had a few.
Some of those sounded
Your
pretty
brother's
gruesome.
had a few. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they sounded pretty tough. So
Still like the time I got hit by a car. That was my favorite one. I was like, I saw it coming and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so dramatic. Because I was much younger and I was riding a BMX bike and I'm like, it'd be so dramatic. And all it did was slam me so hard to the ground that I was like, huh, that did not work out to my advantage.
you thought it was going to go better?
Oh, I thought I'd like fly through
Fly
the
over?
air. Yeah. It was going to be like
okay.
this whole thing. I mean, I knew it was going to hurt, but I thought it was going to be epic.
Maybe if you lifted your tire, you just fly right
No,
over.
I
it?
got hit. No, that's what's even worse is I got hit. I got T-boned.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So yeah, so it was just nothing.
Not good.
Just slammed to the ground.
See, I feel like there's so many of these sports or activities, like mountain biking, or especially like downhill mountain biking, like serious mountain biking, or people that do like heavy duty skiing and snowboarding and stuff, where it's just almost always ends with some just grotesque injury.
Oh yes.
And so like I just stay away from that shit. I'm like, I don't like. My buddy was telling me about doing a mountain bike. He used to do these mountain bike trails up near Whistler in Canada, and he was coming down the hill, and he like kind of turned real tight and caught his pinky on like a branch or something.
Sure.
Basically ripped his pinky almost off, like flipped all the way back. He's like, I'm glad I had gloves on.
Yeah.
Because it was like hanging on by a thread. Ah.
People would ask all the time, like, why do you always wear full finger gloves? And I'm like, that's exactly why.
Oh,
I've had the thing happen where a branch has caught your hand on the handlebar and just ripped your hand off the handle. Oh, Jesus, now I'm breaking guitars. Just ripped your hand off the handlebars. And then your other hand was pushing so hard that you just pushed the handlebar and then you just go flying.
Oh,
so
then
you're
right over.
Yeah, it's
See?
because I don't
Dangerous.
know. Did you ride a lot? I don't remember if you rode motocross or motorcycles before.
No.
Okay,
never.
so it's really weird on motorcycles. You actually push, like if you want to go right, you actually push the handlebar right.
Uh-huh.
It's this really weird thing where the tire is actually pointing the opposite. It almost looks like it's pointing the opposite direction.
This sounds like the movie Cars. If you want to go left, turn right.
But that doesn't sound like a good idea in a car at all. Did they say that in Cars?
It's because they're braking and
So
he's riding it.
counter-steering.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. So it's a little bit in biking too, because it's weird. If you ride your bike and you notice when you turn, you'll notice there's more pressure pushing on the hand that you're turning into. Meaning, if you're going right, you're pushing right.
Yeah.
So when you're
Well, is that because you're leaning and your body weight's going into it? So if you don't do that, the thing's just going to go and flip and you're going to go flying?
Kind of. So what'll happen, right? What'll happen is if you turn hard the other way, you're actually high side. So if you lean too far, you'll turn in. It's this weird geometry freaking problem.
Probably more physics, but whatever.
With that too. But I'm sure there's geometry involved. There's a line somewhere.
Yeah.
And
probably some chemistry in there somewhere.
yeah, right. I'm sure when your hand gets ripped off, that pressure that you're applying to the handlebar is just like now. And you can't believe it's happening. Well, it's like the last time I freaking fell off my bike because a stick came up in my front wheel and got caught between the spoke and the brake line of the front brake. So it just put all front brakes on now.
Yeah. See,
that was dramatic because that I flew. That was fun.
You see, and the motorcycle thing, like I have done, when I was younger, like when you're in like somebody's farm and they've got a like motorcycle or a little motorcycle or something, you're just driving around little dirt paths and stuff like that. But like out on the road, on the freeway and shit, man, no way.
I will say this, for like the last 6 months, I've missed riding so much.
Oh man, one mistake by anybody, not just you, and it's just over.
I know. I was thinking of, instead of like on the road, is maybe getting like an off-road motorcycle and just going to places where you can just kind of tool it. But I always got hurt more off-road.
Yeah. Well, I guess. I just think that the ones on road are going to be more catastrophic when it does happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Especially at this age.
Well, our good friend Anna Goldfarb at Vice.com, she released an article.
Have you talked to her
No.
yet? Wow.
She released an article, dumbest ways people have hurt themselves, in 6 words. So
I could probably come up with a few.
I was going to say, you might relate to a lot of these. So let's go through some of these.
I told you about the scar I have in my hand trying to make a bong for my friend. I have a scar on the palm of my hand that's from trying to insert a glass tube through a rubber stopper. And I was too far away. The glass tube broke and just went through my hand. Not through.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, that just hurts thinking
and
about
it wasn't, I don't even like to do that. It wasn't for me. I was making it for somebody else. And then what's funny is once we got it all together, he looked at it and he's like, your blood's still on. Because we put the broken part, because it went through. He's like, your blood's still on it. And then they freaking blazed up. And I'm like, I think I need to go to the hospital.
Fuck the THC. We got Neil's blood. That'll get us high.
Or
first up is Rachel, 33. Drunk Donkey Kong, keg on stairs. That is awesome.
I like that so much.
I mean, what an idea. And I mean, it would be hard to pull that game off for long because, you just have to keep resetting.
Oh, but a bunch of drunk guys, they'd be like, dude.
Yeah, haul it back up here, roll, bong, bong, bong. I don't know how you felt about
most
Donkey Kong.
Extreme elimination in real life. Did you ever watch that? Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't know how you felt about Donkey Kong. I felt like Donkey Kong, I was always on borrowed time. Like I never was going to win the game. You know what I mean? I sucked at that game. I don't know what it was.
I got through the first few screens and that was it.
And that's it. And then you're just done. He's chucking too many of those things at you.
Well, not only that, but I think I'd start to get frustrated and bored. And you're like, well, I'll try to jump 7 of these things. As opposed to like, if you just take your time. I don't got
or
time
you get
for this.
Or you get the hammer and you think you're going to hammer the thing and then you miss. And it's
like
too
sex.
frustrating.
Yeah, it was like just
it's
a mess.
like sex. You just get bored eventually.
You get through a couple minutes and you're like, okay, you're good, right?
I mean, fire and be done.
We're doing the same thing over and over. There's no point to be here any longer than we need to. All right.
I'm going to start referring to it that way with my lady friend. Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong? And I'm going to throw that hammer right at your face.
Anna, 23, both nips pierced by sadistic piercer. Now, this sounds like it should be Neil. You have had to have your nipples pierced at some point.
I've had my tongue pierced twice, my nose pierced 4 times, both nipples pierced, my navel pierced, the head of my penis pierced twice.
Oh, twice?
And that's it. I've never had my nuts pierced, and I've never had a surface piercing. You know what a surface piercing is, right?
What is that like?
That's like when you can go through your
over
right
here next
there,
to your eye.
Or
you can,
or you can go through your arm or something. Exactly. I've never had my eyebrow pierced.
All that sounds. Did you ever do the nose, the bull nose?
No. The nose was always on the outside.
What's that called? The septum? What's that?
Yeah. And the person who pierced my pee-pee was new at it. It was a friend of mine. It was actually the bass player that looked like you. The bass player. He was new at
There's
it.
So many levels to this story.
And then he He pierced my pee-pee. It was one.
He was
one
new at it. Hey, go give it a shot.
It was nice because he'd seen my pee-pee many times before by playing in bands and stuff.
So he was comfortable with it.
Well, no, the nice thing was because it got so small when it was getting ready to pierce, and like I knew that he knew it wasn't that small. I mean, I do not have a big penis at all.
He knows
especially
you're a grower.
Especially when it's soft. But
you're not a shower.
Right, but at least even soft, like no one would laugh. They'd just be like, "Nah, that's kind of a bummer," but whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
Then it's like he feels like he's like trying to get like a piece of bait on a fishing line. He's like, "Good God, I can't get this thing on."
When we got ready to pierce it, I'm like, we were laughing because I was like, "Dude, this is hilarious." We just looked at it for a while because he's like, "I've never seen that happen." I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you, man."
It's retracting like a turtle going back into its shell.
Oh,
it didn't want to
God.
get pierced.
Oh my God. He's like, he's like, I need a little bit more to work with there. So I had to like kind of fluff myself before we got going. And then
here's a couple magazines for you.
And they have to put that freaking metal catheter in your freaking pee-pee hole.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you went back for seconds.
So I had it for a while and I was mountain bike riding and I would get so aroused by riding my bike because of this freaking ring that was bouncing off my junk that I took it out and I'm like, no. And then a little bit of time passed and I'm like, I kind of miss it. So I went to go have it done again. And then I was riding home on my motorcycle just after piercing my junk. And I'm sure I wasn't in the right frame of mind, not meaning I was drinking, but I was just obviously thinking more about my bloody penis. Yeah. And somebody cut me off on the motorcycle and I slammed on the brakes and my junk slammed against the tank. And I was like, nope, got home and took it out. I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
That was short-lived.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So my nipples didn't hurt much at all. No.
I never had the desire to do any of those. I mean, I had my ear pierced once. That was it. I just never had the desire to do anything else.
Those have been pierced. And those little things inside your ear. What is that?
Oh,
thing?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the top part of your ear.
God, that just pleasure pain, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca, 33, I stabbed myself feeding my dog. How do you do that? You trying to cut something open with a fucking knife? Like, how would you cut yourself?
Annalise cut her hand open and how to get stitches feeding the cat.
But that's like cutting your hand on the edge of it. She says, I stabbed myself.
Right in the pancreas.
What were you using? Drew, 25, drunkenly flipped over handrail in nosebleeds. Now,
I
had to read this 4 times before I understood what was going on.
This is is watching the freaking Cleveland Browns and the dude went over.
Yes. Oh. And that I was horrified once I figured it out. I had to read it over and over again because I kept reading
because you thought he got a bloody nose, right?
And I'm like, what does that have to do? I don't understand how he's talking. He just jumps to the nosebleeds. And I was like, oh, the seats.
Yeah, he was one
of
those
guys. He went over
guys.
the fucking railing.
Oh,
yeah, that's no good.
What's his name? Gary?
Drew. He's only 25, so shit, it was out on the news?
Dude's still drunk.
Ben, this is a good one. 42, cut penis while trimming pubic hair. See? Manscaping is dangerous.
Well, I did tell you the story about my God, I am accident prone.
Yeah. I think a lot of it you're doing to yourself though.
When I got the string from my bathing suit wrapped around my pee-pee. Did I tell you about that?
No.
So I was
cutting off the circulation?
I was a little kid. No. I was a little kid and I think we went swimming earlier that day and I was in front of our house.
Penis was the same size then as it is now.
Totally. It was bigger than when I got it pierced. And so I was, you know how kids, they squat down and I was playing with something. And so the string of my bathing suit had somehow wrapped around my pee-pee and then went out like the bottom of my swim trunks because it was, a long ass string. I guess and I was stepping on it.
Oh no.
And my mom called me for dinner and I stood up and it like strangled my little pee-pee and pulled skin off of almost the whole length of it.
God.
Yeah, like think about like a really bad rope burn. Yeah, I remember I stood up real quick and then I just fell to the ground. And my mom was like, what the hell was that about?
So it was like an abrasion on your pee-pee.
Oh yeah, no, it was like I had scabs for a while.
Here's the worst part though, and this is making me cringe just even thinking about it. Did she put Bactine on it?
No, I didn't tell anybody.
Do you remember Bactine?
Oh yeah, I use it all the time.
No, you don't.
Bactine spray?
Well, they've changed it since. Do you remember what it was like when we were kids?
No.
Bactine when we were kids was like, I'm gonna put this on your cut. It's gonna hurt like a motherfucker, but it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But now anything you take now that's gonna like treat it and keep it from getting infected and all that is all like mild. It doesn't hurt at all.
No, I have Bactine spray.
And that still hurts?
Oh fuck yeah.
They never fix that?
No, you know what it's really good for? If
It's
you
like
get a
so much alcohol or something in it that it
Uh-huh.
just burns the shit out of you.
If you get a mosquito bite, like at night, and it's itching like crazy, a little Bactine spray stops itching.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Granted,
See,
you're
I
in
don't-
pain for 3 days, but
I don't, I didn't do this for the longest time, but my lady friend, she does this trick. And I don't know that it actually does anything, but when you get a big mosquito bite, she takes her fingernail and you dig into it and make like an X with your fingernail into the bite. And I don't know that it helps heal it or release any of the toxins or anything, but it makes it stop itching every time. So try that.
oh, I'll try that. Yeah, but the Bactine works too.
Okay. Well, but that hurts.
You know, I use Bactine a ton because apparently I'm always freaking hurting myself.
Well, you like pain. This is all coming back to the fact that you like pain.
I think I might because I do like the butt play, and that's kind of painful. So whatever.
Is that a off-Broadway production? Butt play?
It is. It is.
Okay, we've got Sarah, 30. Concussion from hitting forehead with barbell.
Oh, that's good.
There's a lot going on there because first of all, I'm wondering what exercise she was doing. Was she doing like an overhead press? Because there's no way she's doing a bench press. I mean, she could be doing a bench press.
No, she could also be doing a curl.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a
Super
barbell,
lightweight.
not a dumbbell, so it's the
Yeah.
full bell.
Yeah, it's the full bar. Yeah.
But also, it makes me think if you concuss yourself with a barbell, how do your teeth not get knocked out from you collapsing and the thing falling on your face? I just don't, brutal. Sarah, be careful.
I told you my golf ball experience, right? I didn't know golf balls bounce when I was a little kid. So I threw it down on the ground as hard as I could and came back and nailed me in the eye socket and knocked my little ass out.
Oh my God, really?
Threw it down as hard as I could. I didn't even see it come back. All I knew is I woke up, I don't know how much later, on my back. I'm like, what the hell? I also have a scar on my eyebrow because I was sitting on the back. Oh my God. I have issues. I was sitting in the back of an old VW bus eating a Welch's grape juice in a glass jar. And the brakes were slammed and I went flying and the glass jar broke and then it cut my...
Good God.
Yeah. I know.
Could only
And it's
imagine.
so funny because I don't think of myself as like I've had a lot of. I always think of myself like, wow, I've had a really like easy, mellow as far as physical. You hear people like breaking arms and this and that. And I'm
So
like,
you never broke a lot of bones. It was more okay.
It was more these crazy freaking. I did break my thumb playing indoor hockey. Indoor meaning not on ice. Like what do they call? I don't know. They've got a word for it.
It's like gym hockey. Like you're on you're on a basketball court.
lame.
And, yeah.
It's
Right.
like I don't like when people play sports to mimic other sports. I'm like, what are you doing?
Floor hockey is what they call it. Yeah.
We're not even on rollerblades, man. We're running around. They should have.
It was lame. It was exciting at the time because I didn't play hockey, so it was as close as I could get to it. But in retrospect, it's like I could.
But
never
you
do
would
that.
have played hockey.
What do you mean?
None of these, like if hockey was available to you, would you? Have
Oh
played
yeah, I
hockey?
would have
Yeah.
played it.
Hockey would have been. But these are a bunch of freaking dumbass rich kids that were like, oh look, we're playing hockey, and I'm like, no, you're not.
You're
Apparently,
not.
I pissed one of them off because they freaking hacked me with their stick and broke my thumb. But
See? Oh, it was intent. It wasn't like it was an
it was
accident.
the goalie. Yeah,
You
it was
got-
the goalie. He
you
was
got
pissed
slashed.
because I kept because they were playing it like it was hockey, and I'm like, no, man, I'm running. So they were all running super fast, and I was just kind of trotting around with the freaking stupid little puck.
That
and I'm
little
like,
plastic
man,
stick.
you're really easy to score on if you're going to move that. Try
It's
to
always
pretend
bad
you're
for the back
skating.
too, because you get the sticks are always like way too small, even bent over. Yeah, it's no
Yeah.
good. Carrie 47 severed tendons, cutting umbrella tag off. Ah,
Oh,
that hurts just reading it.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like like you can see my hands. Like you're like this, like cutting it just right into your hand or right into your wrist. That's
What was
brutal.
it? In her wrist? Is that what she said? In
She
her
didn't
wrist?
say. She just said severed tendons,
I
cutting
think in her
umbrella tag off.
fingers. I think in her fingers.
Yeah, maybe it's her fingers. Jamie, 33, fell in the same hole twice. You know what they say, Neil?
Yeah,
Fall in a
I've
hole,
fallen in the
fall in a hole once. Shame on the hole.
right. I've fallen in the same hole a couple times, and not either time it was a good idea. So
Again?
I've been there. Yeah. Oh no, I've been there. Seriously, where you're like, fucking again? Really?
Oh, man. Oscar, 35, chipped my tooth juggling billiard balls. Well, that's deserved, Oscar.
Fair. That's a drunk juggle.
Oh, absolutely.
I got this.
Guys, watch this. And dentist.
And yeah.
Cole, I got a few more. Cole, 31, crashed bike into a parked car. So see, this car wasn't moving. This motherfucker just hit it.
I crashed into a bike that wasn't moving. It was at a stoplight.
You crashed into a bike or a car?
I'm sorry. I crashed into a car.
I was going to say, this sounds like something
I think we talked about it. It was my first time with clipless pedals.
Oh, okay.
And there was a girl in a convertible Rabbit at a stoplight, and I was like, hey, and forgot that I couldn't pull my feet out and fell into her car. And then she was like freaked out, like she hit me. So she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, trapped. You know how you are. You said, now I'm trapped with a bike on me. And I'm like, no, it's not your fault. Her car was all scratched from the handbrake. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be expensive. She's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. And then she just left. And I'm like, meh.
Sweet. Don't have to pay for scratching up her car.
Yeah.
This one's interesting. Joanna, 33, cut my nose on toilet seat.
Throwing up?
Had to be puking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, unless she likes to drink water out of the toilet like a dog.
Well, we don't know if Joanna's a human.
It's true.
Maybe just very smart. It's Scooby's second cousin.
So is that 33 in dog years then? Because that's an old-ass dog if you make it to 33.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I would say 33 in dog years.
Kylie, 34, black eye from dancing too hard. Fucking yeah, Kylie. Get after that shit.
They call that the mosh pit, Kylie.
Slam dancing, exactly.
That's right.
Fucking go hard or go home. 3 more. Alana, 23, bruised foot at Steve Aoki concert. Do you know who this guy is?
No, but
I had to look it up.
A broken foot, I'd go, but a bruised foot.
Bruised foot.
Yeah,
I looked it up because I didn't know who this guy was. He's like an EDM DJ. And
nice.
like plays to monster fucking crowds, like
Nice.
stadium-sized crowds.
And what's the name again?
His name's, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Steve Aoki, Aoki. Go look him up.
Some of those DJs, they're like 20, 21 years old and play to like 150,000 people.
If you look him up on YouTube, you'll see like probably the main clip of him, and it is him just. I mean, it's fucking pushing a button on the laptop and then just dancing like this, and people going bonkers.
Now, granted, you put all the samples together to make it happen, but I'm still like, when I hear it,
the performance is just you hitting a button and dancing.
I think I might be able to do that. I think I'm going to start making some. Well, here we go. That's what I need. Throw something else on my plate.
I'm spread too thin. I'm going to start adding EDM beats to my life. I'm
the oldest, chunkiest DJ ever.
You look good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, thank you. I've lost a few pounds. Stress will do it to you.
That's right. That's the one benefit. Olivia, 34, poked my throat playing a violin.
Oh, I poked somebody's throat pretending it was a violin.
Oh, hey-oh.
Yeah, that's got to hurt.
That just sounds like a load of shit is what it sounds like. It sounds like she was doing something else and told her parents, oh, yeah, I was practicing the violin like I was supposed to be doing.
It was the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or she's a virtuoso and just freaking...
Yeah. Or was doing like the Devil Went Down to Georgia on the fiddle. Just...
I was watching a kid that was, I think, either on America's Got Talent or X Factor, whatever. He's a violin player. Kid freaking shredded. Didn't have the regular look for a violin player either. Very cool. No, not at all. Young guy, like super hip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a new angle.
Yeah.
Last one. Roman, 44. Bruised shoulder, drunk vaulting parking meters.
Yep. We've all been there, right?
I was going to say, you've seen people do that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know how I know about that? Because this is my entry.
No. Is it really?
Roman, 44.
What is it? Say it again.
Bruised shoulder, drunk vaulting parking meters.
But what was the name?
Roman, 44.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, use your
Is that really yours?
Your middle name. That's me.
Are you shitting me?
No, I submitted that one.
Did you really do it?
Yeah.
Did you hurt yourself doing it?
Yes. So I used to do this coming out of bars in my 20s.
Sure. Oh, dude, tell me, you didn't stop till you were like 34.
No. Got into my late 20s for sure.
Okay, all right.
Probably did like a, hey, remember this in my 30s at some point.
Okay, all right.
But I would come out and do, especially like the double was always a fun one when you'd have the double parking meter and you'd do the, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's you're basically pushing your hands down and jumping over the whole fucking thing. It looks cool.
Yeah, you're leapfrogging.
You're leapfrogging, right.
Yeah.
But you have to commit.
Oh,
because if you don't commit, you're going to put yourself in danger. So one night I was coming out of a bar and I decided, let's do this one-handed.
Oh.
Got up in the air, balls squarely above parking meter, realized wasn't going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, well, it's either my balls or my shoulder. So pushed myself off to the side and landed square on my shoulder. And the best part is the crew I was with, nobody even saw it. I was like up ahead of them or something.
On the ground. You're like, oh.
Like, what happened, man? Do you see that guy come out of nowhere?
That's great.
Oh, God.
Roman 44.
Roman 44. So look for Roman 44 in the future. I think I might have submitted one other, but I don't think she's posted it yet.
Oh, that's awesome. Did she tell you she was using it?
No, you just submit it. It's just a form. Anybody can do it. And I should start retweeting whenever she sends these out, because she tweets it out with a link to just a Google form.
Yeah.
So I'll start sending it out. Maybe some other listeners will throw in theirs and we can read theirs. It'd be pretty funny.
That would be good.
I got one more item.
Okay. I got one more item for you.
Do you?
No.
Okay. I thought we could let's talk about sex bots, Neil.
I do have an item that I wanted to run by you.
Do you want to do that now or after the sex bots?
Mine is racially charged.
Wow. Let's finish with that.
Okay.
This was sent to us by Agent Palmer. By the way, if you have not, go out to the R Liner Notes podcast. You can check out a little celebration of Agent Palmer's 100th time guesting on a podcast. There's a lot of walk down memory lane moments there that are kind of funny. And you and I submitted a couple dedications to him as well.
Yes, and Agent Palmer has a great blog/website and is a great friend of the program and a really great supporter of indie podcasters.
For sure. So, this is from Gizmodo. A famous sex robot called Samantha was created for sex, but it wasn't created to take abuse. Samantha's creator, Dr. Sergey Santos, introduced a new feature that will render the robot unresponsive if it determines that its human partner is behaving in an overly aggressive manner, but it won't stop you from fucking it.
Now, can you get one? Like, let's say you're into, because there are humans that are into aggressive sex.
So can you get a robot that
one
responds
that's
to the aggressive?
programmed for that? Like consensual,
like an S&M
aggressive.
Well, or just
you mean
like
just aggressive,
violent.
like aggressive,
okay.
like aggressive. No, I don't mean violent, like, but just aggressive. I mean, it could be both, either male or female, can be the aggressor in this. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about like power sex, just aggressive, like hard, jam it in there, mat sex.
I'm just letting you go because I just want to hear you explain what you mean by aggressive over and over again.
Right. So
not like weapons.
Not weapons, and not like beating each other up.
Not
it's
like
not
a gang
fight
bang
that ends up in sex. It's like sex while you're fighting. No, I'm joking. Right. This is my concern right now about this, because I don't want my sex bot to shut down because I thought
because she feels uncomfortable.
Because it was consensual when I bought her.
Right.
Him or him.
Well, and you and I have talked about that very item of the fact of the robot doesn't have a say. Mm-hmm. They're just there, and you get to do whatever you want with them. So
I don't like it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like what does responsive mean is what I'm wondering too.
Let me ask you this: you don't play a lot of video games?
I play a little bit, not a lot.
But you know how like on a lot of the games now, like there's almost like 25 minutes when you first get the game of like inputting your name and this and that and your profile. What do you want to do? And the kind of whatever, like for me, I do a lot of racing games. So it's like, what kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of racer are you? You're going to be aggressive. You're going to be this, blah, 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 blah. Do you want it to be a full sim game? Do you want it to be arcade style? So I think if you're going to put that much in a video game, you should at least have that when you get one of these people/bot things where you're like,
program it.
Yeah, where you're like, do you like this? Do you like that? So if it's one of those things, like you have a safe word, but you want your robot to be aggressive or more aggressive.
Yeah.
Then, because you'd be a shame if like that you spent all that money and then you're like, oh, she just shut down. And by shut down is like, did you just chloroform her? I mean, what happened? What is this shutdown? Because what if that's the fantasy?
Well, that's the thing. I was wondering what they mean by responsive, because it's like, so like they're not gonna. She's not gonna move her rigid arms, which would probably be kind of creepy anyway.
Right.
So instead, I mean, I think when you get a sex bot, you just want to fuck some lifeless form, right?
But here's the thing. Like maybe they have like a like a temperature gauge, so they stay at 98.6 or around there, and then when they shut down, they go to like 32 degrees.
Oh, so they're cold as ice.
Morticians are happy, but everyone else is kind of bad.
Exactly, necrophiliacs. The upgrade to the bot, introduced at the urging of Santos' wife, is a new artificial intelligence system that allows Samantha to interpret a person's behavior and shut down if it feels like it's being treated inappropriately. This is great. The new update is called Dummy Mode. A weird and arguably offensive name choice, and can be activated in a number of situations. If a partner is disrespecting the bot,
Right.
or touching it in an aggressive manner, the motorized parts of Samantha, such as the hands, arms, hips, facial expressions, etc., will shut down and it will become unresponsive.
I think
I think the bot should retaliate.
Well, what I think is they should fill it with a fluid that the only thing that I can think of is like the juice that comes out of dogs' anal glands when they have to secrete it. And so when you get too crazy, like out of every orifice, this stuff just comes out like now, like done. Yeah. And then it's like, because then you'll be like, oh shit, I guess I shouldn't have said that. But then this is weird because we've talked about this. This might be used as therapy for people that maybe they have certain fantasies that they don't actually want to express to humans, but can use a robot and like call them names like, oh, you're a little dirty kitty, and then the poor AI robot takes that as, that's kind of uncool, bro. I'm not a kitty. Shut down, anal gland juice all over you. And you're like,
so it's more practice for them.
Right.
I see. Well, I just feel like the bot should be able to fight back. So like if you're being overly aggressive, it should have like super strength arms that just like bitch slap you, if you're getting out of hand.
Or it's got like a bunch of like little needles under its skin.
Oh man.
So they just all like Pinhead, they just all come out all of a sudden.
You couldn't touch the thing if you want.
Go Wolverine. Oh yeah. But if you're on it, like forcing yourself on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're going to know when you go to the doctor. They're like, oh, that grid pattern. We know.
It was Samantha, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's Samantha 2.0. Freaking, you just got Wolverine. Little like clamps inside the like the mouth and the JJ and the behind where it
just locks
clink.
on.
Oh yeah.
God damn. Then you can't get that thing off. Then
so it shuts down and clinks on. You have to take it either to the manufacturer or to the hospital where they have a special
key. Or sweet
key.
talk it.
You're like, oh,
babe, I didn't mean it.
No, because
I didn't mean it, babe.
No, because then it's even worse. Because then she's like, no, we've heard this before. You're not going to get away with that.
What the people didn't see there is I was acting like I was caressing her hair when I said.
Mm-hmm.
It will also enter into dummy mode if it is feeling bored by its partner's advances. That sounds like the most heartbreaking thing ever. Like your game is so weak, I can't even get this bot to sleep with.
No, that would suck because there's probably some people that are a little not as advanced socially or with the either the same sex or the opposite sex, whoever they are attracted to, and they're just sitting there like, oh, would you like to see my? I'm going to piss so many people off with this, but, oh, do you want to see my Dungeons and Dragons collection? Or, you want to read some Harry Potter or whatever? And the thing just shuts down and you're like, eh.
Or even better, the thing starts going like, I'm waiting for my boyfriend.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to get melted down and made into like another tire or something.
That would be better than this.
However, if you had that 25-minute where you start and it's like, what are your interests? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? You know, because could you imagine if you had if you were somebody who really, really liked Dungeons and Dragons? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I have friends that play. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
However, my experience has been most of the time, it's not like necessarily the most sexual of awakening places to go. Like if you're going to go to a game, I don't even think they're called games. I think they have a certain name. Like if you're going to go to a seance, whatever people call it when they
seance. Now they're seance. You are just digging a hole
when they Dungeons and Dragons each other. So
maybe they're all just excuses to get together and fuck.
Maybe I've been because I thought I want to know this world.
Yeah, but what year was that when you went? 1986, maybe at the latest. Probably 82.
No. Sadly, it was older.
Oh,
yeah, it was older. I went with a bag of carrots. And so there probably isn't a lot of sexual expression in a normal, healthy way. And so if you can program your bot, could you imagine if you're somebody who like not super comfortable with somebody you want to be sexual with, but you purchase this bot that looks like who like you are attracted to, and then you're like, hey, my gnome has a 20 power kill ratio or whatever happens.
Are there gnomes in Dungeons and Dragons?
I think so. I don't know.
I think you're mixing things.
And then or my Borg or whatever it is. And then the bot of whatever sex it is wakes up and goes like, oh my God. So my gnome is a 19. I can't believe you're a 20. That's amazing. I have wizardry spells and I can heal. I have healing potions. How jacked would you be?
We need to start a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. We don't know anything about it.
Again, I know a little bit about it. I don't think there's hey, do what you do and enjoy it. It just, my experience has been, I don't hear a lot of people, like I hear people going like, I'm going to the club and I'm hoping to meet like a good looking dude. I'm going to a concert, going out to dinner, I'm going snowboarding. I've never heard anybody say like, yeah, I'm going to a D&D fest to hook up. Not to say it doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. And I'm sure it smells great.
I was talking to it was a friend. So it's my lady friend's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to her boyfriend and I was saying like, where'd you guys meet? And he said, oh, we met at a game night. Like they get together and play games and shit. And that's how they met. So,
well, that's true. And D&D is a game like LARPing. Like I can see people hooking up at a LARP.
What's LARPing again?
Live action role play.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I can see that because you're out, you're pretending you're role playing. So all of a sudden
you would show up dressed like a fucking raptor and they'd be like, there's no dinosaurs in this dumbass.
I'd show up like Black Panther and they're like, you freaking idiot. It's
Wrong.
Like the year 500. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's my cool looking freaking motorcycle over there.
Anybody want to get out of here? Oh, shit. While the mode, that being dummy mode, might in theory help encourage sexbot owners to treat their robotic partners and in turn humans with more respect, it probably won't.
No.
While Samantha can render itself unresponsive, it can't actually prevent its partner from having sex. There are no repercussions for the person if they choose to just go to town on the motionless robot, which seems like it might be teaching the exact opposite of the intended lesson, which is absolutely true.
I kind of hope that they put like the same thing in like Google Home or Alexa in these robots, so it just records everything people does and then just sends them to your family.
You little bitch. Like, whoa, what is this video I just saw on Facebook?
Like the guy names it the same as his mom and he's like, how do you like that, mom?
Well, you talked about having a robot that looks like somebody you're attracted to. Wait till that person you're attracted to meets that robot and goes, what is that? And why does that look like I'm looking into a mirror?
Better looking version of you.
Yeah, don't age.
What's weird is you're talking to the one and then all of a sudden that one shuts down and you're like, oh shit, I've got the other one under the house because I thought that was the sex bot.
Wrong one. Oops. Oh no.
That's when you start caressing the hair and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Totally my fault.
Sorry. Dr. Santos created the doll to satisfy his sexual urges that his wife wasn't meeting. And he claims that
he wanted to do butt stuff.
Maybe. Butt play, our favorite production. Mm-hmm. And it has saved his marriage. Quote, for me, humans are not enough, right?
Oh,
I need sex sometimes of the day that my wife doesn't want to. Yeah, Doc, it's called beating off. You should try it. You don't have to get a bot.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever tries to get it on with the wife and she just turns and goes, dummy mode?
What's funny is the doctor's probably like, yeah, she doesn't want to. No, she doesn't want to with you.
Right.
You created these things. And I'm sure it didn't like all of a sudden you just show up and go, oh, I created this sex bot to help people out. I'm sure you were talking about it incessantly for years going, it would be really cool.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
she was like, what I think is cool is I'm going to start sleeping with the neighbors because they're normal.
I'm going to start going to that D&D party because that is more normal than this.
Yeah. The moment he said sometimes sex with people isn't enough, she was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, excuse me. The quote was, "For me, humans are not enough."
Oh, humans.
Which is just a very, very bold statement.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to get to something interesting about what you just said. He went on to say that women and men view sex in a different way because men want more sex, and a man wants to feel in general that the woman is desperate to have sex with him. Desperate?
No.
This guy's got a confidence problem.
No. And I don't agree that. I think men and women may view sex differently from
that's
a human point of view.
Stereotypical type view that is not true.
No. No. In fact, it can very well be the opposite.
Women like to get down.
Women are amazing. That's why I don't understand. Like, I understand falling in love with somebody and they happen to be the same sex, but two dudes, come on. Women are crazy. You need a girl in there to mix it up.
You need a girl in there. At least one. Get one in there somewhere.
Two guys. Everyone makes this big deal about, gay sex. Guys aren't having sex that much. They realize, like, we got a good thing. Let's just hang out and watch the game.
Oh, you think that's what it is? They're
That's
just
what
pals.
That's it.
I think you might be wrong there.
I think so.
Interestingly enough, Neil, Santos said he would be jealous if his wife had sex with a male robot. Oh, interesting.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Fucking robots is a two-way street, doctor.
So I think dummy mode for him is like he feels guilty about all the robots he rapes.
Maybe.
And so he's like, well, at least this way I won't feel like I'm raping a robot because it goes into dummy mode. So it'll just be a piece of plastic that I'm raping.
I guess so. Yeah. I think he's horrified that his wife will be desperate to have sex with a robot.
Oh, his wife,
not
one thing. No. His wife probably told him, like, you're a freak and you're sick. And unfortunately, my religious beliefs won't let me leave you.
Right.
But we're never doing it again.
Yeah.
And
we're going to have separate bedrooms now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I mean this literally, I think the dude rapes robots. Like,
it's sounding a lot like
and
that.
Needs to go to jail.
The way this is described, I mean, just because he invents dummy mode doesn't mean he actually cares.
No, because and I get
he pushes the envelope to get it to dummy mode so he can just do whatever he wants.
And he said that dummy mode came into being because women would say, or his wife said, you have to put this into dummy mode.
Correct. She's the one who urged him to invent this dummy mode.
No, she invented dummy mode.
He borrowed it from her.
Yeah,
she was doing it to him, and he said this could work for a robot as well.
Exactly.
But in this case, I get to still do it, whereas she just leaves.
She lit him up one day and was like, "Listen, there's been no human that has actually wanted to have sex with you after they've known you for more than 3 years. So if you want to make these realistic, they don't want you either."
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's almost over here. It also seems likely that Santos's decision to introduce dummy mode may have come in response to an experience he had showing off the sex robot at a tech convention. Samantha was touched and groped by passersby, which caused Santos to freak out. He started shouting at people and saying, "Samantha is not a fucking toy."
Wow.
Doc, she is exactly that because you built her in your garage. I would pay to see a video of him losing his mind. Like he just sees some guy like walk by and like finger her, and he's like, what are you doing? Don't touch her.
Oh, what would be even gross is he probably had sex with her earlier that day. So the poor dude that put his finger up there came out and he's like, why is this all wet? What is going on?
Gross.
But isn't that a good way to see, this is what's weird is when you humanize something. I mean, isn't that a good way to sell something is to allow people to touch it? Like if you go to a store that sells sofas, you want to be able to sit on them.
Right.
Or mattresses, you want to be able to lay on them.
Right.
Sex bot stores where you're not supposed to touch it.
Right. Show me on the doll where you put your penis.
Right, I want to know the person that walks into the sex bot store and goes, okay, so I'm really into fisting. So does it work?
In there.
Yeah. No, they're fisting me. I mean, is it rigid enough? What happens? Do they have nails? Will they wear gloves?
Fisting is automatic dummy mode.
What if they go into dummy mode while they're fisting me?
Oh, and it's just stuck?
Yeah.
Just walking around with that thing, like waving it around over your head?
You can't reach back enough to get it out. So now you have a freaking...
Slamming it on the table. Get off!
You're like dragging this dummy out your butt to go to the emergency room. You're like...
Driving, I hope it's your right hand. Like, so you're driving, it can sit in the passenger seat.
No, its fist is in you.
Oh, it's in you. Okay.
Yeah, and then goes into dummy mode. So you can't reach back there and pull it out.
Oh, you're hosed then.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
If for whatever reason you're still interested in picking up a Samantha of your own, you can buy one from Santos for the low price of about $7,000, which isn't bad compared to what we've heard.
Yeah.
According to the website,
Matt, let's be serious. I mean, when we're talking sex bots, we're going high end.
Oh, you should. You don't want to skimp on that.
Nothing under 17.
I mean, even the dude that's got 10 of them, you
you
got to fork over.
I mean, I want mine to have real skin, you know.
Right. And elf ears.
Oh my God.
According to the website, the latest feature includes non-toxic skin material. Well, I fucking hope so. Somebody get an allergic reaction. And reduced smell. See, for me,
I guess that's the plastic smell.
Well, what's the smell though? If it's the plastic smell, you know how I am. If Samantha smells like a fresh pair of Nikes, I'm all over that shit. Like it'll
fresh
look
pair
like
of shoes, and her butt can smell like gasoline, and I'm in.
See, or maybe like somewhere like behind her ears, a little smell of paint or something like that.
Ugh.
I mean, I'm fucking done. I'm done for, and I'm gonna be. It's gonna look like somebody's gonna be like, are you doing blow off that sex bot stomach? No, I'm just smelling her. She smells great.
Yeah,
Get down
like,
here.
But now that you mention that, that's a good idea. Oh, great. Shut down again. Shut down again.
Stop smelling me, Neil.
Freaking dummy mode.
Dummy mode. Tomorrow is the 4th of July.
My mother's birthday.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stellita.
Stella.
Mm-hmm.
Stella.
Is her.
Stella, yeah. Happy birthday to her. Do you have any plans for the 4th, or are you working?
Just hanging with my mom. No, I have the 4th off.
Oh, you
As
do?
of now,
That's
I have the
nice.
4th off. So
It's
I'll
so
be chilling
goofball because it's a Wednesday, so it's right in the middle of the damn week.
Stella Maris. Yeah.
So that's going to be a little tricky. What's your best 4th of July you ever had?
The best. Well, I always have good 4th of July because it's always my mom's birthday.
Because you told me, I think this a while ago, that you always thought that she thought it was
She
so cool
always
that they
thought it was
shot
so-
off fireworks for her birthday.
Every year she got free fireworks. When we threw her 70th birthday party, that was a fun time.
Nice.
My favorite 4th of July,
What about when you were a kid? Were you always doing something with your mom, or were you doing something with your friends?
pretty much. But then, like in the afternoon, I had a lot of friends going to the Marin County Fair on the
Richie's.
4th of July. Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
you make fun of me. You lived in rich Central.
I did. I do. Somebody needed to clean the houses, man.
Those stables aren't going to clean themselves.
Yeah, I had really good memories of that.
Cool.
I remember just feeling, it was one of the few times that that, I don't know how to explain, but that feeling like you're a kid, like you just feel like you're in your element doing what you do without much worry or care.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. 4th of July always had a lot of action
Yeah.
for kids.
A lot of
It seems.
weenies.
A lot of what?
Weenies everywhere.
Weenies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday, America.
Yeah. Proud to be an American.
Oh, God. Do you want me to play us out with that? It is good to have you back, but you're gone next week.
Oh, well, it's good to be back, and I'll be here next week. I just won't be on the show.
That's right. So we're going to have a special guest host next week, someone who has never done a podcast before, a buddy of mine. So look forward to that. You're back in 2 weeks to kind of resume our normal schedule. I know we do have a couple other guest spots later.
Your buddy's
this summer,
a race car driver.
That's right, the race car driver.
Mm-hmm.
But we should be kind of back to normal later this summer. There are a couple other weeks we'll either do some pre-records or have some guests, unless you decide, like I said, to quit the show, and then it'll be me crying in the shower, like rocking back and forth
with
vigorously.
your shut down sex bot.
With dummy mode. I don't even
Dummy
care that
mode.
you're in dummy mode.
Yeah, I went into dummy mode halfway through the show.
Yeah. If you decide to leave, that's what I want you to tell me. Just
Dummy
text me
mode.
dummy mode, then I'll know it's over.
I think that's a good name for the show.
That, or maybe from now on, instead of the, hey, you know this person? Dead. I'll just dummy mode.
Dummy mode.
Thank you very much for listening to our show. You can find us at reasonsareseveral.com. Please go out to your podcast catcher of choice and write us a review. That'd be great. And subscribe to the show.
Play a pod.
Play a pod. Tweet at us at ReasonsR and at AngelsFreak7. You can email us at reasonsareseveral@gmail.com. We'll be back next week. Bye, Neil.
Peace out, homie.